This episode is part one of three episodes that we're weaving into each other. The three-part series that we're going to do is collectively, we were talking offline last week, and we really felt passionate about building out our value words as the women of wisdom, our mission statement, and our vision statement. And as we started to do it, we were like, I think let's show the audience how people go about building these types of guides that we use to help us stay kind of on track of where our vision is. So today's episode is all about value words. And I know individually, the three of us could talk about value words and how we live our lives and the values that we want to live by every day. But we are now going to do this as the three of us for our Women of Wisdom. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We definitely, if you have questions about it, please leave a comment at the end and make sure you watch the next two episodes after this. So I think my first question is to the ladies, what is your definition of value words?
Oh, I think we're going to edit out this big pause. Value words. What was the question again? Let me just.
What do you think is value words are? I can, let me give you what I think. And I think it's your characteristics you want to live by.
Okay.
What words do you kind of like? I think sometimes we've talked a lot of times on here about goal setting and living your life a certain way. And when you set goals, sometimes we have talked about in past episodes, are you setting goals that are true to yourself?
Right.
But we've never said the word, are you setting a goal that's true to your values?
And you know what? I think that's really important to distinguish, because sometimes we end up creating a goal for ourselves that is not in alignment with our actual values. We're creating the goal because we think we should or whatever, and it makes going for that or doing whatever very, very difficult to do, because you are going to have cognitive dissonance about that. You are going to have inner conflict about it. And I think it makes everything more difficult when you're not living by your own values. I also think values and beliefs get woven in together very, people sometimes think about beliefs in terms of values. I just Googled value words to give us an idea of some of the stuff that's out there. And this is from James Clear, one of my favorite authors. He wrote a whole book on atomic habits.
Yep.
Highly recommend it if you haven't read it.
I have it all dog-eared off on
and his newsletter. And his newsletter is good too.
Yes, yeah. Every Thursday it comes out. So he has words like authenticity, authority, adventure, boldness, beauty, compassion, challenge, fairness, friendships, happiness, kindness, leadership, learning, openness, pleasure, religion, recognition, responsibility, self-respect, service, spirituality, trustworthiness, success, wealth, and wisdom. I didn't read the whole list because it's quite extensive, so I just kind of scrolled through there.
You can Google, I have the ultimate 400 personal value words. Like you can, there's many lists out there for you.
I think it's really good to do that, because I think it helps you to figure out really what your values are. Because I don't, this isn't something that you sit down and do every day.
No.
But I just found it interesting too, when you read the list, only certain words made impact on me, right? Like trustworthiness totally stood out. I was like, oh yeah, that's one. But you know, 3/4 of the other ones were like, yeah, one.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's not like you have to have 400.
No, and this is a process where we're probably condensing the process here, and I don't want people to get the thought process that if this takes a half hour for us to do this episode, that's how long it's supposed to take. We're hopefully giving you a guideline, but this can take as long as you want. I'm a firm believer that you write down all the words that are important to you and then walk away from it and let that sit with you. Let it sit, let it like ruminate and just like, how does it feel? And then you come back and you look at the list again. And like you said, Tracy G, there were half of the words didn't resonate with you. What doesn't resonate with you anymore? Or what 5 words are like, those are mind blowing. That's exactly what I want. Like, this is a work in progress. And because we're doing a value words, this probably is going to be a document that we go back to from time to time to make sure it's still relevant.
Right.
Because things change around us all the time.
But do you think your values change?
I think the values can change with your season of life. So, what I mean by this is, let's just say family is one of your value words. And that still is an important word to me. But my family is out of the home. My family lives in other states. I'm not somebody who has children all around, or I'm caring for an elderly parent at this time. So even though family is very important to me and a value to me, I don't know if it's as high up in my list as it would have been when I had my children around me.
Right. So values, I think, are they do that. They will go up and down in your list depending on what's going on in your life. But I'm sort of the opinion that I believe our values are our values, and they don't really change a whole lot.
Because I don't put my
They
values
get
as my priorities.
reprioritized. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a better way of saying it. So maybe
Yeah.
they don't change, they get reprioritized.
Yeah.
But your family will always be
Yeah.
like your part of one of your value words. So I'm gonna vote with Tracy E on this one.
I understand what she's saying, but I think sometimes when you reprioritize things, that might, even though family's still important, when I'm setting my goals and doing whatever right now for this year and looking at my values, what I set my goals around had nothing to do with my family. Even though my family is very important to me.
But will your goals have any ripple effect with your family?
Some of them, not all of them.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just take it back a minute because I'm getting slightly confused here. So I would have suggested that what you do is you go and look at a list of values and start pulling from them. But to me, values are what I live by, regardless if I'm setting goals. So now I'm getting confused because you're going, I want to set some goals based on my values.
True, but if family is right up here, but I don't have family around me, it's not as much as I'm going to take Tracy E and you both have family right there with you. You have Tracy, your daughter, and your grandson and her family. Tracy G, you still have your daughters very close with you in your home or wherever. I don't have any of that any longer. So if I was to set my goals for 2023 only around because family is so important, like what goal, like, I feel like I would not be making a true goal for myself.
Okay. So we're going to
We
stop
talk-
here. We're going to stop here and see what happens. I think she's texting us. Is that her? No, we'll keep that in. We had a little interruption, but we've got Tracy back. So back at it. That's
We're
the
back at
beauty
it.
of technology.
Technology, yes. So I think Tracy G and I were talking, Tracy E, when we lost you for a short second, was in the beginning we had talked about people set their goals not according to their values. They just set goals because they think they should, but it's not a value that they have. So I think there's like this, I don't know if, how do I want to say this? All our goals have to be around our values, but our goals should represent the person we want to be, which is part of our values, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting that.
Okay.
Right. But my values don't need to do the goals. Like I said, trustworthiness is a value to me. I don't have to set goals around it, but when I am setting goals, that's going to be part of like, I'm not going to scam people, right? Because am I trustworthy?
Trustworthy, right. So that's what I was just going to say. You're trustworthy. Your goal is true to, you're trusting who Tracy is as a person and the way you're going to project yourself. And, you know, if it's not going to feel, but if you're doing something and it feels scammy or salesy, and that's not who Tracy G is because her value is trustworthy, then you're going to change how you use that, do that goal. Or that, you know, like I'm going to, let's just say this, I'm promoting, you know, my goal is to move my business, promote my business and move it into another area or whatever. But how you do it is going to be according to your trustworthy value.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant. You look confused.
I'm this is my thinking look.
Oh, okay.
I have this look a lot. It's like, what am I doing? I'm just trying to put, so here's the thing. So if I said, and we're going, you know, this is for women of wisdom, and we want to bring some values so that we can do our mission statement. And what was the other thing we wanted to do? Values,
vision statement.
Pardon me? Oh, vision. That if I said, well, to me, women of wisdom, we always want to make an impact. That's that's something I want to do. And so my value would be that I would be trustworthy and truthful. That has nothing to do with our goals, though. It's just saying that everything, in my opinion, that we should bring to the table should have that value to it.
But you're,
Are we saying the same thing, but just different ways?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think maybe it's,
I get that a lot too.
Maybe the goal isn't so much that has to have that value word, but it's the action steps in the goal.
Right.
That correlate with our values.
Right. But maybe we're just putting that goal part too soon. Maybe we just talk about values.
Yes.
Mission, vision, and the vision incorporates our goals.
Yes.
Right? Because those are our action steps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that only took 3 hours. Let's go. But anyway, no, I just want to be clear.
So that you said you want to be in, like, one of the things that you feel strong about for our value is being impactful. And when I look at this list of 400 words, impactful is on there. You know,
that's interesting, because to me, that's more of a vision word that I would use. I want to create an impact with what it is that we're doing.
Right.
So why don't
because that's not a value to me. Impact is one of my words that I use in my stuff, but it's not a value to me.
Right. Right. I hear what you're saying. It's whatever is important to the person. You know, your own definition is your own definition of that word. You know, and if you're doing it, I wouldn't use impactful either. Like trustworthy, we want to make sure what we're talking about, people have a comfort level and trust us.
Right.
Mm.
You know, trustworthy is extremely important to all three of us, and anything we do, whether it's within this container or our own personal lives, and even in our own business. I know the three of us, we're very trustworthy. Like, I think that's why we connect together. You know, I'm just writing down trustworthy.
Is that one of our words?
I think it is. Yeah.
I would totally agree with that. Yes. And
Yeah,
I want
definitely.
that to be in what we do. It should be
Right.
always in the back of our head. Like, you're not going to,
Yes.
exactly what you just said. I don't need to repeat it.
What other words resonate with you? Like if you think of women of wisdom.
I think respect is respectful.
Mm. Yeah.
I agree with that.
I agree too.
I don't know if I'm going to use the right word. So I'm thinking of, there's a couple of words came to mind that we're honest, but we're not afraid to share our feelings. So it's kind of, I don't know if I like the word fearless.
Vulnerable?
Pardon me?
Vulnerable? Perhaps.
That's, yep.
Again, that to me is more of our vision that we will, our content, we are prepared to be vulnerable with our content and be open to provide our experiences to the world, to our group of people that are listening to us. Certainly, I think kindness and love are, high value for me. I think it probably is for you ladies as well.
Yeah,
and really,
I like the word kindness.
And that's exactly, it's one of the reasons we wanted to do this. So.
And it's so easy to be kind. It's just so easy.
Yeah.
Were you going to say resilience? Tracy E?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Resilience?
I thought you were going to say that after kindness.
I do like that word. I do really like that word. I believe it's a good value. Yeah, I would, I'm just reflecting on that word as it pertains to what I do. And I would have to agree that resilience is definitely a part of that. What about you, Tracy G?
I agree. Sorry, I am listening, but I was looking at these core values again on, I just did a search, and they're not at all what I would have expected to be core values.
I know, that's why I think it's really important that is understood what actually core values are.
Right.
Because I think there's such a fine line between words of action like impact and things that we're saying, right? But that, to me, those words are action oriented and provide a character trait about what it is that we do. But I'm not so sure that they are actually values. They come about because of our values.
Right.
Right. But they aren't actually the value itself. So
No,
we act a certain way, and
Mhm.
you can attach a word to that, like resilience, actually. If we want to use that one, we are, resilient because we never give up, and we're three women that are showing the world that that is what we do. But is it really more of an action type of thing as opposed to a core value? I think maybe the core value word would be different. I don't know what that is, but I'm thinking
Right.
the core value word would be something a little different than resilience.
right.
So
Like when you say trustworthy, I think of honesty. I think of, straightforward. I think of actions within the word trustworthy.
Yeah, exactly.
What were you going to say, Tracy G?
about resilience. So I was trying to come up with another word, but I don't think it would work because I was going more for courageous, but that's not resilient. That's a whole different. So, are we staying with resilient?
I think so for now, I think we are in agreement that there is another word that actually is going to wrap up that word a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just have to, like, ponder on that. So
Right.
So we have trustworthy, respectful, and resilient.
I thought
kindness.
Oh,
kindness.
yeah, kindness. So then so integrity. So would that be one that we could
Yeah,
use?
for sure.
Yes.
So would that be better than trustworthy, or we would just add it?
No, I think you can add it,
Yeah.
because I think there's a whole lot more that goes into integrity than just
Yes.
trustworthiness.
Yes.
True.
Because trustworthy, I feel like has to deal with honesty and all of that. When I think of integrity, I think it's, in my mind, even though we might not agree on different things or we have a different outlook on stuff, the integrity of how we speak about it and how we are is part of our character. It's part of who we are. We still love each other, all of us, even though we have different thought processes.
Right.
So, what other words stick out to you? Like,
This one I just saw on my search, open-mindedness. Well, that wasn't the reaction I expected.
No, I agree. But again, I'm wondering if that is more of the vision. We are always open-minded, always learning. So is there something that is more value-driven about that?
yeah,
I mean, I might be pedantic on all of this as well. So if I am, just tell me. Tracy, stop it.
open-mindedness is on here.
Mhm. Yeah, it was on James Clear's one as well.
You know what? I think what we should do is still write it down because
Okay.
I don't think we'll come to a complete, like, this can be the working document and we can try to understand these words and probably within ourselves think about it, like I was just talking about before we started picking our words, and see which ones keep going to the top. Like if we were to
Right.
prioritize them,
Yeah.
which
Right.
way goes? Open-minded.
And
Then
we've written down resilience for now, right?
yes,
So
we
I've
have
got trustworthy, respectful, kindness, resilience, open-minded,
integrity.
And integrity.
integrity, right?
What about the word courage? And don't say what about it.
See, I like that word.
Courage.
Yeah, I really like that word for like just as a value, like a value. Yeah, I like that for me personally.
Trustworthy, respectful, kindness, resilience, integrity, open-minded, courage, or courageous. Either one I'm with.
How many do we need?
We go as long as we want.
Yeah, like, yeah, I don't think there's really
No. Nope. I
a
think,
number that says, yeah.
nope. So is there any other word that really sticks out to you? I mean, I can go through, this list is huge. And I'm like, and I agree with you, Tracy E. There's words here that to me are more action forward than they are a value statement, you know? So
Right. And as doing this as a group, it's kind of like, you know what your values are, but as a group, like to me, how much more as a group do we need to move
Yes.
to the next stage? I'm just
Right.
throwing that out there just because like I think this right now really sums up like, and that's why I mean I think women of wisdom do, their value is courage, because it takes a lot to put yourself out there. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, all three of us agree to that one.
Oh, yeah.
Especially as older women even.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we're going to use the value words as trustworthy, respectful, kindness, resilience, integrity, open-minded, and courage or courageous.
Yeah.
Whichever one is. Okay, so I think what I would like to do is for us to possibly just think about these a little bit, put them in order of importance throughout the week. And if you can get back to me, the two ladies here. And then what I can do is we have a page, we have our Instagram handle, and we have a Facebook page. And I can go out and do a post out there and show you which of these words, if we kept them all, we might keep them all, I don't know, or which ones, how we rated them, ranked them out in order of importance for women of wisdom. How's that sound to you two ladies?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
so
So just if someone was doing this, they saw what we did. We started with just searching for a list to go by and start really questioning whether that resonated with us.
Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
If you want to do a deep dive and just look at a list and say, yep, you know, like you can keep just peeling away that onion till you get down to that core items that really are important to you. But stay tuned. We'll post it on our Instagram or Facebook page together. And so you guys can see what we chose. And if you're not following us, then make sure you get over there and follow us. And
I just want to read this one thing that I just found on the internet. Core values are the internal compass of fundamental principles that drive a person's life or an organization.
Yep.
So I think it's, you know, what you do, the words that you choose are your guiding compass that you do everything from.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tracy. I really do like that. Okay. Anything else, ladies? So make sure to watch the next two episodes, because we're going to be talking about mission statement and vision statement. If you have any comments about core value words, or anything discussed here, please leave us a comment. Share this with others. If you wanted to even do this as a family, think about that. You know, having a value statement as a family, or values to, is it, you know, having your families together. There's so many things you can use this personally, in a side business, for your family, for friends. Like, this is something that can really help you build a foundation of what's important in your life. And so share it, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit to get notifications, because every Wednesday we have a new episode. Until then, have a good day.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.